Welcome to Bible in a Year with Scott Purcell. I'm so glad you're joining me. This is a daily reading of portions of the Bible, following a plan that will include the entire Bible in a year. And now, let's open the book and begin our readings. This is the reading for day 87. If your reading is aligned with the calendar year in a non-leap year, this is for March 28th, or in a leap year for March 27th. The Old Testament reading is from Numbers chapter 23, beginning with verse 27, all of Numbers 24 and Numbers 25. Numbers 23:27. Then Balak said to Balaam, "Please come, I will take you to another place. Perhaps it will be acceptable to God, and you will curse for me from there." So Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, which looks down on the face of the Jeshimon. And Balaam said to Balak, "Build for me these 7 altars, and prepare for me these 7 bulls and 7 rams." Balak did just as Balaam said, and he offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Numbers 24. And Balaam saw that it pleased Yahweh to bless Israel, and he did not go, as other times, to seek out sorcery. Instead, he set his face toward the desert. Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel dwelling according to its tribes, and the Spirit of God was upon him. He uttered his oracle and said, "The declaration of Balaam, son of Beor, the declaration of the man whose eyes are closed, the declaration of the hearer of God's words, who sees the revelation of Shaddai, falling down, but whose eyes are uncovered. How good are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel! They are spread out like valleys, like gardens on a river, like aloes planted by Yahweh, like cedar at the waters. He will pour water from his buckets, and his offspring will be like many waters. His king will be higher than Agag, and his kingdom will be exalted. God, who brings him out from Egypt, is like the strength of a wild ox for him. He will devour the nations who are his enemies. He will break their bones. He will pierce them with his arrows. He crouches, he lies down like a lion, and like a lioness, who will rouse him? They who bless you will be blessed, and they who curse you will be cursed." Then Balak became angry with Balaam, and he clapped his hands and said to Balaam, "I called you to curse my enemies. But look, you have surely blessed them these 3 times. Flee to your place now. I said I would richly honor you, but look, Yahweh has withheld honor from you." Balaam said to Balak, "Did I not speak to your messengers whom you sent to me, saying, if Balak gave to me the fullness of his house full of silver and gold, I am not able to go beyond the command of Yahweh to do good or evil. From my heart, what Yahweh speaks, I will speak. And now look, I am about to go to my people. I will advise you what this people will do to your people in the following days." And he uttered his oracle and said, "The declaration of Balaam son of Beor, and the declaration of the man whose eye is closed, the declaration of the hearer of God's words, and the knower of the knowledge of the Most High, who sees the vision of Shaddai, who is falling, and his eyes are revealed. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star will go out from Jacob, and a scepter will rise from Israel. It will crush the foreheads of Moab and destroy all the children of Seth. Edom will be a captive. Seir, its enemies, will be a captive, and Israel will be acting courageously. Someone from Jacob will rule, and will destroy a remnant from the city. And he looked at Amalek, uttered his oracle, and said, Amalek is first of the nations, but his future will be forever ruin. And he looked at the Kenites, uttered his oracle, and said, Steady is your dwelling place, in the rock is your nest. Nevertheless the Kenite will be burned. How long will Ashur keep you captive? Again he uttered his oracle and said, Woe! Who will live when God establishes this? The ships will come from the land of the Kittim, and they will afflict Ashur, and will afflict Eber. Also he will be forever ruined. Then Balaam got up, and went, and returned to his place, and Balak also went on his way. Numbers 25. When Israel dwelled in Shittim, the people began to prostitute themselves with the daughters of Moab. And they invited the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate and worshipped their gods. So Israel was joined together to Baal of Peor, and Yahweh became angry with Israel. Yahweh said to Moses, Take all of the leaders of the people and hang them before Yahweh in the sun, so the fierce anger of Yahweh will turn from Israel. So Moses said to the judges of Israel, Each of you kill his men who are joined together with Baal of Peor. And behold, a man from the Israelites came and brought to his brothers a Midianite woman before the eyes of Moses, and before the eyes of all the community of the Israelites, and they were weeping at the doorway of the tent of assembly. When Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, saw, he got up from the midst of the community and took a spear in his hand. He went after the man of Israel into the woman's section of the tent, and he drove the two of them, the man of Israel and the woman, into her belly. And the plague against the Israelites stopped. The ones who died in the plague were 24,000. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, turned away my anger from among the Israelites, when he was jealous with my jealousy in their midst, and I did not destroy the Israelites with my jealousy. Therefore say, Behold, I am giving to him my covenant of peace, and it will be for him and his offspring after him a covenant of an eternal priesthood, because he was jealous for his God and made atonement for the Israelites. The name of the man of Israel who was struck with the Midianite woman was Zimri, son of Salu, a leader of the family of the Simeonites. The name of the Midianite woman who was struck was Cosbi, daughter of Zur, a leader of a tribe of the family in Midian. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, Attack the Midianites, and strike them, because they were attacking you with their deception with which they have deceived you on the matter of Peor, and on the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of the leader of Midian, their sister who was struck on the day of the plague because of the matter of Peor. The New Testament reading is from Luke 7, verse 11 through verse 35. Luke 7:11. And it happened that on that day he went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd went with him. And as he approached the gate of the town, behold, a man who had died was being carried out, his mother's only son, and she was a widow. And a large crowd from the town was with her. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion for her, and said to her, Do not weep. And he came up and touched the bier, and those who were carrying it stopped. And he said, Young man, I say to you, get up. And the dead man sat up and began to speak, and he gave him to his mother. And fear seized them all, and they began to glorify God, saying, A great prophet has appeared among us, and God has visited to help his people. And this report about him went out in the whole of Judea and in all the surrounding region. And his disciples reported to John about all these things. And summoning a certain 2 of his disciples, John sent them to the Lord, saying, Are you the one who is to come, or should we look for another? And when the men came to him, they said, John the Baptist sent us to you, saying, Are you the one who is to come, or should we look for another? In that hour he healed many people of diseases and suffering and evil spirits, and he granted sight to many blind people. And he answered and said to them, Go and tell John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have good news announced to them. And whoever is not offended by me is blessed. And when the messengers of John had departed, he began to speak to the crowds concerning John. What did you go out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken by the wind? But what did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing? Behold, those who are in splendid clothing and luxury are in the royal palaces. But what did you go out to see? A prophet? Yes, I tell you, and even more than a prophet. It is this man about whom it is written, Behold, I am sending my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you. I tell you, there is no one greater among those born of women than John, but the one who is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he. And all the people, when they heard this, even the tax collectors, affirmed the righteousness of God, because they had been baptized with the baptism of John. But the Pharisees and the legal experts rejected the purpose of God for themselves, because they had not been baptized by him. To what then shall I compare the people of this generation? And what are they like? They are like children sitting in the marketplace and calling out to one another, who say, We played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We sang a lament, and you did not weep. For John the Baptist has come not eating bread or drinking wine, and you say, He has a demon. The Son of Man has come eating and drinking, and you say, Behold, a man who is a glutton and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. And wisdom is vindicated by all her children. The wisdom literature reading is from Psalm 38, verses 1 through 11. Psalm 38:1. A psalm of David, to bring to remembrance. O Yahweh, do not rebuke me in your anger, or chastise me in your wrath. For your arrows have sunk into me, and your hand has pressed down on me. There is no soundness in my flesh because of your indignation. There is no health in my bones because of my sin. For my iniquities have passed over my head. Like a heavy burden, they are too heavy for me. My wounds start to stink. They rot because of my foolishness. I am bowed down, I am bent over greatly. All the day I go about mourning, for my loins are full of burning, and there is no soundness in my flesh. I am faint and crushed greatly. I groan because of the roaring of my heart. O Lord, all my longing is before you, and my sighing is not hidden from you. My heart throbs violently. My strength leaves me, and the light of my eyes, that also is not with me. My friends and companions stand aloof from my affliction, and my relatives stand afar off. This concludes the reading for day 87.